Welcome back. You're watching Prime Property. The listed Bombay-based realty firm HDIL caught our attention this week as it declared a profit for the first time after several quarters. It also impressed the street by cutting its mammoth debt, but there's still some time to go before a full recovery can be declared. Besides an over-leveraged balance sheet, HDIL is grappling with delayed projects, miffed buyers and legal troubles over a slum rehabilitation project near Mumbai's airport. Despite all that, Manasvi Ghelani reports HDIL is on the right track.
Trouble for HDIL began last January, when investors and home buyers pressed the panic button. They feared the Bombay-based developer was bankrupt. It was then HDIL co-founder and vice chairman Sarang Vadawat cut his stake in the company by more than half to 0.99% to raise a mere 57 crore to buy a land bank. The company claimed the sale was only because of an urgent need of funds and tried its best to allay fears. Since then, HDIL has missed several deadlines for its projects, and irked buyers reached the company's doorstep to protest. As recently as April, nearly 400 people gathered outside the HDIL headquarters, demanding possession of their apartments in two projects: the HDIL Premier Residence in Bombay's Kurla West area and HDIL Galaxy in Kurla East, and another project of HDIL in Andheri. The Premier Residence's buyer complained that HDIL had failed to meet the alleged commitment of delivering about 1,035 flats in 2012. Buyers of both these projects complained their investment plans had gone awry. They had made 85 to 100% of the payments to the developer, and that was running at least 2 years late behind schedule. The top management did come out an hour after the protests began, but failed to soothe frayed nerves. Buyers of the Kurla project went as far as filing FIRs against the senior HDIL executives for withholding possession despite accepting full payments. These irked buyers also demanded compensation, but HDIL management had a different story to tell.
The fact is that certain projects, while were delayed beyond some time, the payments received from individual buyers were delayed as well. Now the timeline for the projects or the demand raised during that period, we have raised interest charges on all the individuals. Now there is a conflict of opinion here that we should not be charging interest, whereas the agreement clearly provides that we can charge interest. So that's the case where certain people are not happy about the positions that are being handed over. But I think we have sorted that out almost with 90% of the people. People have come in and paid, and we've handed over positions to the individuals.
So the allegations that a cash demand was made is not true?
No, absolutely not. Cash demands are never made because everything is as per our agreements.
This matter is now in the Bombay High Court, but there are other legal troubles for HDIL. The litigation with GVK Mial over a termination notice for a slum rehabilitation project near the airport is still carrying on. Mial had entered into an agreement with HDIL to rehabilitate an estimated 80,000 slum dwellers residing on 276 acres of airport land for a mixed-use development. The project was to be completed by 2011, but not a single dweller had been shifted when Mial had terminated the contract in March 2013. Mial says it had issued a notice in June 2011 and invoked performance securities prior to terminating the contract. HDIL, however, maintains that the notice is not legally tenable. The government is yet to even fix the eligibility conditions. HDIL insists that the worst is behind it and better times are in store. The company in the last quarter of FY14 posted a net profit of about 114 crore as against a loss of 280 crore in the same period of FY13. Its revenues had increased from 143 crore to 209 crore year on year. HDIL is now looking to monetize assets to complete the turnaround.
We had a couple of completions in Bombay, a couple of residential projects that were completed, and along with that we had a few FSI transactions in Delhi as well. The company also sold off some of its investments in a couple of joint venture projects in Bombay. So that added to the revenue recognition.
Could you give us a little more sense or at least clarity on which are the two JVs that we are talking about?
Well, there was an investment made into a land parcel in Juhu in Bombay by the company. We monetized that. The company had given approximately 180 crores of debt to that joint venture. That debt came back. Along with that, the investment which was made into that joint venture also was recognized. We were able to monetize the transaction successfully, and as we go along, we are going to go ahead with this strategy of monetizing joint venture projects.
HDIL high debt remains a sticky point, but analysts say that the company is on the right track. HDIL cut its debt by 12.4% to 3,511 crore rupees and is targeting to further reduce that to 2,500 crore rupees by the end of FY15. It's relying heavily on the asset monetization to achieve this goal.
The payment for Andheri West project, which we had sold to Adani, has been received, and that is the one that has helped cut our debt by approximately 250 crores.
Which are these key land parcels, and are they in Bombay alone?
No, we are looking at paring debt down by 1,000 crores, which means the debt will become 2,500 crores. Yes, this will be monetization of land parcels. It will be monetization of certain Mumbai land parcels. It will be monetization of certain out of Mumbai land parcels like Hyderabad, Cochin. Wherever there is traction and wherever there is an opportunity for us to sell those assets, we are going to go ahead and do that.
Apart from the monetization and also liquidating the joint ventures that you're in, any other plans or any other avenues you're looking at going forward?
We have taken an enabling resolution of about 400 million in this board meeting, but that's only an enabling resolution. Maybe if the opportunity comes over the next year to raise some money, we could go ahead and do that. There is no timeline to that. The board felt that in the environment that we are entering into with the change in regime, it makes sense to be ready. So that's why we've taken an equity enabling resolution. But otherwise, I think as far as HDIL's cash flow is concerned, we're comfortable with the FSI transactions. We're comfortable with the collections that are coming in from internal accruals, and I don't foresee any further fundraising. On the debt side, definitely there's going to be no fundraising, but on the equity there could be.
HDIL is confident of scripting a recovery with the sale of all these assets. Only then it will focus on launching new projects which have been put on hold since 2012. In Mumbai, Manasvi Ghelani.
Now let's head down south to Chennai. In the midst of a hospitality slump and over-leveraged balance sheet, hotel owners had no option but to check out of business. They sold their properties, a few of which were under construction, to local cash-rich builders. And these new owners have decided not hotels, but luxury residential developments is the way to go. Purnima Murli finds out more about this trend.
I'm at one of Chennai's most posh locations, the MRC Nagar. Behind me is where the super luxury JW Marriott Hotel was supposed to open for business, but as you can see, it is being demolished now. Hyderabad Viceroy, that was developing JW Marriott, had to check out on account of rising debt and tight liquidity. It has sold this property to one of Chennai's premium builders, Sebros Developers, for 480 crore rupees. The new owner decided against opening a hotel. Instead, it has opted for a more lucrative proposition and what it has expertise in, a luxury residential project. And this is not the only such case. Sebros Developers had snapped up another hotel recently. It bought the premium Hotel Atlantic for 168 crore rupees. Spread over 1.5 acre in a prime area of central Chennai, the hotel has met the same fate as a JW Marriott. It's been raced down to pay way for a high-end housing project. The 1.2 acre Breeze Hotel, offering budget residence in the heart of the city, will also be toned down very soon. Ditto for one of Chennai's oldest business hotels, Aruna Chennai. It changed hands recently for 100 crore rupees, and the new owner, KG's Residency, thinks that instead of a hotel, the property is better suited to house luxury residences. The rough patch Chennai's hospitality has been going through has taken a financial toll on hotel owners. Mounting debt and rising costs didn't help. Checking out of these hotels by finding cash-rich developers seemed to be the best way forward. This trend first started in 2010 when Hotel Das Prakash was sold to Prince Foundation for 165 crores. And today, at that very site are these two towers housing 7 stories and 150 apartments.
With the slowdown in the economy, the occupancy levels have come down. This has hit the hospitality industry badly, and many hotels are suffering for want of revenues. Some of them operating at half the capacity or less than half the capacity, and some of the new hotels have been, even new ones and some old ones have been put on the block.
They have done a strategic consultancy to see how well these developments would do good for the residential spots, and the answers has been very, very encouraging. And that's the reason why we have seen some of the hotels, very prime hotels, which have been very well welcomed by different tier 2, tier 3 city city travelers within Chennai using these facilities are today being considered as residential development.
The new hotel owners say the skyrocketing land prices in all of the prime locations justify the conversion of hotels into luxury residences. And let's not forget, their core competence is residential development and not hospitality, which has quite a long gestation period before it hits black.
The developer sees only the land cost. Instead of buying another land which is available, probably which is prohibitively expensive, at least the hotel people who are putting it on the block, probably they are more reasonable. They work on their acquisition cost and the construction cost, and then probably they want to know not to lose further on the project. So they seem to be more reasonably priced compared to any available parcel. Another thing, such large parcels are not also easily available within city. So I think there is some kind of very high price levels prevalent in the residential market. That is one trend which is getting indicated.
And now all eyes on the Leela. It's just next door to where JW Marriott Hotel was supposed to come up. And the buzz is we could see this iconic hotel of Chennai change hands, as Leela's corporate strategy is to be asset light and pare down its debt. And if that does happen, will the new owner buck the trend and not cave into the temptation of turning this beautiful hotel into yet another residential project? In Chennai, Purnima Murli.
Well, on that note, we're completely out of time, so we're going to have to wrap up this edition of Prime Property. Do remember, you can always email us your property queries, your feedback, or experiences with developers that you may want to share. Our email address is primeproperty@network18online.com. You can also tweet me. See you same time next week.